Big news out this morning. U.S. retail sales top expectations in sign of durable consumer demand. That's right, folks. The American consumer is shrugging off that whole inflation thing, and he is out there spending money like there's no tomorrow. Proof that the economy is strong and resilient, right? Well, there might just be one little hiccup with that retail sales report.
It's a fake.
That's right, Senator Vreenak. That retail sales report, it's a fake. What's up, guys? I'm Nobody Special, and what you're looking at here, this is the Census Bureau's report, the advanced monthly sales for retail and food services for September of 2023. In other words, the retail sales report, and I want to draw your attention to that box over there, advanced monthly sales. So why am I saying that this report is fake? Or more specifically, why am I saying that this retail sales growth is fake? Well, let's take a look at the numbers here. First of all, that lower number there, that's the August retail sales. It was $699.9 billion. The September number above it, $704.9 billion. So we've got an increase of $5 billion in retail sales. Now that is more than double what the market was expecting. The market was expecting 0.3% growth. They got 0.7% growth. So this was a huge beat for retail sales number. But I want you to remember that $5 billion number. Now take a look at this chart. This is consumer loans, credit cards, and other revolving plans for all commercial banks. In other words, this is America's credit card bill. Right above my head here where I've got my mouse, that's the balance on America's credit cards as of the end of August. It was $1,011 billion on August 30th. Now, we only get weekly snapshots here, so the closest date we get to the end of September is here on September 27th, where the number was $1,016 billion. In other words, America's credit card bill went up by $5 billion during the same period when America's retail sales grew by $5 billion. In other words, that massive growth in retail sales in the United States,
It's a fake.
that's right, Senator Vreenak. All that growth in retail sales, it's a fake. It's an illusion created by the smoke and mirrors of America's credit card debt, which continues to rise. People are still putting the cost of inflation on the credit card to maintain a standard of living from before the pandemic that they can no longer afford. That's only going to last until those credit cards get maxed out or until increases in interest rates lead to spikes in unemployment. And, well, unemployed people have a nasty habit of not paying their credit card bills. And let's also not forget what the interest rates on that over $1 trillion in credit card is doing. Currently, as of the end of August, 21.19% is the average interest rate on a credit card in the United States. Meanwhile, people just continue to put life on the plastic, driving the illusion of growth in retail sales. This is just more pain down the road that people are signing themselves up for. But that big growth in retail sales wasn't the only fake story that hit the tape today. Check out Bank of America's earnings. B of A profit beats estimates on interest income and gains in investment banking and trading. Turns out Bank of America reported a fantastic quarter with over $7.8 billion in earnings, which beat analyst estimates. That is, of course, as long as you overlook one itty-bitty little detail. From the same article in Reuters, Bank of America said it had unrealized losses of $131.6 billion on securities held until maturity in the third quarter, growing from nearly $106 billion in paper losses in the second quarter. You see, Bank of America bought a lot of U.S. government bonds during the pandemic when interest rates were much lower. The Federal Reserve has been raising interest rates ever since, and when you raise interest rates, you drive the value of bonds lower. So Bank of America is sitting on a massive pile of bonds that are no longer worth what they paid for them, but they're getting around that by just using the accounting gimmick called held to maturity, where they're saying, we're not going to hold this stuff on our books based on what we could actually sell it for today. We're going to hold it on our books based on what it's going to be worth when it matures, which could be as long as 30 years from now. So the only way Bank of America could arrive at $7.8 billion in earnings is by ignoring the fact that they lost $25.6 billion on their bond portfolio. In other words, that big earnings report from Bank of America,
It's a fake.
that's right, Senator Vreenak. Much like that retail sales growth, Bank of America's earnings are fake. It's an illusion created by the smoke and mirrors of the held to maturity accounting gimmick, something that most banks in the United States are currently doing right now in order to make themselves look profitable. So Bank of America is just going to conveniently ignore the fact that their bonds lost $25.6 billion in the last quarter, and then they're going to go ahead and report a $7.8 billion earnings beat. But you ain't got no earnings, Bank of America. Fun fact, by the way, the source of that "it's a fake" meme is Senator Vreenak from the Romulan Empire in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and the thing he's holding up there is a recording that contains falsified evidence that was trying to lure the Romulans into a war under false pretenses. They would go on to murder him in a false flag attack to draw the Romulans into the war. But of course, that has nothing to do with Janet Yellen here saying that the United States can absolutely afford two wars. Until next time, live small and dream big.